Next, we have Debbie. Debbie calling in. Debbie, how you doing? How can we help you?
Good. I'm actually on hold with y'all. I wanted to make sure I was on the right place.
Oh, I love that.
You're good.
You're calling in from where? Louisiana, Debbie?
Yes, Southwest Louisiana.
Awesome. Did you guys get a bunch of snow too?
No, we're actually like 30 minutes from the Gulf, so
Okay.
it didn't come this far down. We didn't even hardly get any ice. So
Okay. Some people that I follow on social, they're in Louisiana. I don't know what part though, but I saw a bunch of snow there, or
It's like
ice
the
at least.
Mississippi Valley area.
Is it? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we got like crazy amount of snow. But hey, we appreciate you coming on Stay Paid. What's your question? What can we help you with in growing your business?
Okay, so I'm glad y'all emailed me my question because I forgot it in the meantime. But
That's why you got to love show producers. They keep us on track.
yes,
So.
thank goodness. And I accidentally just hung up on her, but y'all popped up right at the right time. So I wrote to y'all in this market after pouring everything I know to do marketing wise, because I have a marketing and PR background. I do ads, but what other ideas do you have for gaining buyers in this market? I have a plethora of sellers. I'm not at any kind of what do you call it? Lack of sellers, but the buyers have been really lacking in our area.
First
We're
time
kind
we've
of
heard this problem.
about 100,000 population in my area.
Okay. Awesome question. So can you walk us through, walk us through how many kind of deals you do on average a year or volume, and then also what have you been trying to do marketing wise?
I probably average about 20 deals
Nice.
a year.
Okay.
I consider myself full-time, part-time because I am a mom and my child comes first, but
Love that.
I don't turn any business away either. But I have done, I'm very big on networking because our town is a little big town and it's a little fickle. So if you're not out and about, people tend to forget you, but I think that's real life as well. So I do a lot of networking. I'm part of a BNI group. And then we have a few other networking groups that meet in town. I do pop buys. I do cards, notes, obviously reminder media, mail outs. I have billboards and then local magazine ads that my husband and I do because he has a related home business.
Love that.
And I do a lot of social media. I make my own videos and content. I'm on every platform I can think of.
So how many buyers out of the 20 transactions are there, and how many sellers?
Lately, it's been more sellers that I have. I've right now I'm at about 18 listings or 18 sellers, and I have about 4 coming in the next week. I'm submitting 1 today and about 3 more next week. So
Incredible.
Thank you. I'll be up to 21.
Well, the number one way we see across the nation, and I think we also see this for our own team, Stephen, but correct me if I'm wrong, is open houses are the driver of most buyers. How many open houses are you doing?
So that's another thing. I do them, but I don't get a big turnout. Even for Halloween, I did this huge, really funny video for like 2 weeks up to Halloween where I did skeletons in place of me showing the house.
I love that idea.
And I only had about 5 agents show up, and most of them were my office. So, well, that was an agent and public open house.
Can you walk us through how you select the listing that you're going to run the open house for, and then walk us through how you advertise it?
So I usually try to rotate because obviously
unknown caller.
That's a buyer right there. Answer it live on the show. Let's go.
It's y'all. It says Reminder Media.
Hey guys, we're relentless. It's probably calling you back for being on hold.
I'm on. Thank you.
Want to buy any property, Reminder Media?
Yeah.
That's like, I love it. So, okay. So how do you choose the listing? Because that's really what we find is the most important part of getting a good open house is the listing that you've chosen.
Obviously,
but how do you think about
I try to, as soon as I get a listing, I try to do that home within the first week or 2 to get that out, either agent open house or public or both. We market it on all social media platforms. We have our own association that sends out email blasts for the week to everyone. And then we have, not flyers, banners that we put out the week of in front of the house and leading up to the house, like open house, with arrows.
Mhm.
So one identifying question, Debbie, that we need to answer. So you're in a buyer's market, then I'm assuming. Like, what's the average time on the market where you're at?
It's been a lot longer. Thankfully, a lot of my sellers have been very loyal, and I do have a wide range of different listings, but we're looking at, a year for some of these listings.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why, because you're doing a lot of things right for the open house, but don't mistake, have a marketing background, right?
Mhm.
But the product is what sells. And so that's what Luke was alluding to on choosing the right open house, because if something is priced correctly or it's priced as a good deal, that coupled with the marketing is what's going to bring clients through.
Yeah.
It's not just the market. If I overprice a listing and I do the best marketing in the world, I still am not going to have traffic,
Okay.
come through the door. And so it is super essential that you choose the property that, one, does it speak to the consumers? It's something that's within maybe the median home price that's there.
Yeah.
Is it something that's actually a good deal? That's what you identify. So it's good that you hold it within a week because, obviously it's new to the market. It's
Mhm.
going to get that engagement. The algorithms are going to be up, from the first week that it's on the market. But it's not the only thing. You need to make sure you also choose something that is within that median home price that's selling, and you need to choose something that is priced super well, because that's what, coupled with that marketing that you're doing, because all of that was great stuff, that's what's going to attract the consumer
Yeah.
through there. But those are the right activities. But yeah, if you're a year on the market, that's why you're not generating a ton of buyers. But you've stacked those listings. 18 listings is incredible. So part of your game plan might be to keep stacking, on the listings on that side,
Mhm.
because those eventually will pour out into the,
Do you believe you have priced them too high, Debbie?
So,
But you're doing it because the clients I say making you, but wanting that?
yeah, so I always tell my clients what I believe their range or what they're going to sell for. And obviously, we all know that they want to try and get highest, best, or they think that their homes are worth more than what we tell them most of the time. I tell them, if we go by a whole week and we don't get any calls, any showings, any kind of motion, we're going to talk about lowering the price. And I always tell them, like, when I say that, I'm not talking about we're going to lower it 10 grand right away. We're going to do some gradual changes, but also, I try to tell them, look, I understand you were thinking here, but the market's saying this. So some of them I do feel maybe could have adjustments, but I don't feel like they're grossly overpriced.
Okay. So yeah, it's like you're leaning on the high side, and that's hurting you. And we know also, across the nation, like if a house sits on the market and you lower the price, the buyer's psychology is something's wrong with this
Yeah.
house. And now you've lost, right? And your job as the real estate agent is to make the person the most money possible. Is
That's right.
not It's like you want to get them the highest price that they can, but the reality is you want to make them the most money possible.
Yeah.
And that's really the advice you're trying to bring to the combo. It sounds like to me that you're probably not aggressive enough with your clients
Okay.
when you are like you're too soft to want to earn the listing, and so you're not having the hard convo up front. Now, I just spoke at a mastermind in California, and the number one team, I believe, in Orange County, Janelle, was there. Shout out to her. I'm going to have her on the show. But she does this really cool thing where, in order to address price,
Mhm.
she brings the Realtor.com estimate, the Redfin estimate, and the Zillow estimate to all printed out to the actual listing presentation, right? In the appointment. And when she goes to talk about price, what she does is she shows those to the people and goes, which one do you think best represents what your home is worth and why? And she puts it on them first so she can hear
Hmm.
what they think before what the normal real estate agent does is say, hey, your price is worth this. But she showed in an example of one of the listings she had that Realtor.com had it for like 300K more than Zillow had it. And she said, so isn't it a massive difference if you knew that the client's been looking at Realtor.com versus the client's been looking at
right.
Zillow?
Yeah.
Because she came in and priced it like it was more, actually just a little bit above Zillow, but it was not realtor.com. And she said, imagine if I would have come in and said, I think it was like a $3.5 million listing. Imagine if I would have said 3.5, but realtor.com has it at like 3.9. Does the consumer feel good or bad? But imagine if they were looking at Zillow and Zillow had it priced under 3.5. And if I said 3.5 and Zillow had it at 3.3, they're going to feel great. So you want to get from the consumer what they're thinking and why they think their house is worth that. And then also what you're doing when you show them those prices is, what are you doing? No, none of them are the same.
Yeah.
So you're immediately validating your value to the marketplace. And then you can actually show them obviously comparable listings, because that's how we tend to price things, right? It's based upon what's moving in the area. But I think what's happening to you a little bit is that you have to have the harder conversation up front, because it's the deal that drives the traffic. Demand drives price.
Okay.
More demand, higher price for an item. More items, lower, right? Lower demand. The price is going to come down. It's like simple economics of supply and demand. And so the reason why you want to price right is to drive traffic. Like, this is a deal that drives demand, that then drives price up in the bidding war and all that stuff. So I think you have to have some harder conversations. I don't know, Steve, if you have other tactics that you've used.
No, that's 100% right. And to change kind of your own belief, that's super important in this, because you mentioned that they want the highest price, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to be at that realtor.com estimate instead of the Zillow estimate, as Luke's example is. But the consumer really wants the highest price possible, and they want to have trust in you that you're actually fighting for that highest price possible.
Okay.
And so, like, it's not good for a consumer to go on the market at too high of a price where they have a price reduction, because Luke just mentioned it. If you have a price reduction and you've been sitting on the market, that's coupled with a lower price coming in for the purchase, right, from the consumer. And so I just change your belief to go, the consumer is dying for you to actually tell them the truth, but like, you got to believe it. It's better for the seller if you price competitively and go up than it is for you to price too high and come down. It just always is. And so I changed your belief, but he identified it because you have 18 listings. I mean, you should be getting sign calls from them. You definitely should be getting people coming through the open house and still picking up buyers. I'm not saying your average will look like our average here, because our median home price is 270, but you should still have a good amount of people flowing through the open house throughout the year. And you definitely should be getting sign calls. So it means, Luke identifying it, that you're probably pricing the properties too high and just not having as much of an aggressive conversation up front. And that aggressive, that's going to save you so much time, by the way, on the back end. We all know that when it sits longer, our jobs become infinitely harder. Because it means the longer you sit, the more conversations you actually have to have, because the consumers sit back
and they're
there.
more emotional, and the more they start doubting you.
Exactly.
And because
you start
because you
like you're a
weren't
failure.
Yes. Like it's your fault. And we know it's not your fault, but the fault is ultimately, look, you can't control the market. You control the marketing, as you say, Stephen. But you do control the advice that you give them. And you're better off because you have a full pipeline, and because you always want the listing. Everybody does. I want the listing too, but you got to believe in yourself to have a full pipeline where you can look at Debbie, the client, and go, hey, Debbie, what makes me different than most agents is most agents will just cave to try to get your listing, even though they don't believe it will sell.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, I only want to work with you based upon it making sense. And my role in this is to advise you. And here's why I say what I say. Here's the data from Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow, how it's all different. Here's the comps that have happened, the last 10 transactions in your area. Here's the days on market. Then you showcase your knowledge and your confidence of here's all the facts. And ultimately, what's great is that we can put it on market and see the demand, and that will drive, our next conversation. It still doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, but now you can attack it head on versus having to come behind. The other thing I'll wrap up with for you that will also attract buyers from a marketing standpoint, at least what we've seen. Number one is obviously open houses, but you got to price right in order to do that. Is Facebook advertising and Google advertising brings us a lot of buyers. And so we, last year, I think it was 26 from Google, Steve, 14 from Facebook closed last year. And we spent, I think on Google, we spent like $27,000 for the Google spend. And on Facebook, we spent 20. And it was like 600 leads came in from Google. I can't remember if it's 1,200 or what came in from Facebook. That was majority buyers though. The ads that we're running for like Facebook is a list of homes ad. So get access to this exclusive list of homes and a price range. If you want, we can walk you through that at Reminder Media. We run those for people, but we also have webinars where you can set it up yourself. So if you don't have the money to spend on us managing or something like that, no problem. You can walk through the webinar and set it up literally yourself.
Okay.
And manage it yourself. That has attracted buyer leads for us because they're looking for that exclusive list of homes. So that's another kind of avenue for you of creating buyers. But to me, it sounds like you're a great agent.
Yeah.
But you're too nice. You're too soft. And it's hard because it's also your skill set, and you're like, but I've done a good job in my career of lowering the price and then getting it done, so I don't want to miss out. I think you will up your game tremendously if you get a little bit more confident and a little harder towards the seller,
Okay.
but because you have their best interest.
And it's going to
in
make
mind.
your life so much easier. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Thank
When you
you.
have the conversation and set proper expectations, then price reductions do not become a problem. Because it's not like you're going to win every single conversation on price.
Yeah.
If the seller still wants to be there, I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
But I'm only fine with that if I've had the conversation up front of
Yes.
expectations,
Yeah.
right? Because then I can come back and go, hey, it's time. Like, hey, we both agree you're in it to make the most money, right?
Yeah.
They've agreed. You've got the buy-in.
It also proves that you were right in the beginning. So you need to set up the leverage that, hey, I will do this, but you got to prove that you were right in the beginning. Don't do like the range is even a soft way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So be careful of the range. Like be careful. I'm not against like saying, hey, look, nobody knows perfectly, but you got to hone in on like, this is what I believe
That's
will
what I believe.
drive the demand based upon, it's like when you go shopping for a car, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at all the different cars and everything on the market. And because I bought a minivan recently for my wife, and I'm just all looking at all these, I say for my wife, because I don't want to claim I drive a minivan.
No, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. But I ended up knowing every minivan on the market, right? And you start seeing them selling, and you start getting really confident that, look, minivans in this year with these miles, these brands sell for X. Like this is what they sell for with a little bit of wiggle room. And then you get confidence in what you are presenting and what you're buying and the offer and stuff. And so it's the same for real estate. You know the market way better than any of your clients that you're talking to. So keep crushing it. I really feel, 18 listings is ridiculous. They're just sitting too long.
Well,
so
I have 21 by next week.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, start having, you have a full pipeline, start having those hard conversations.
Okay.
Because you have their best interest in mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Really appreciate it. And thank you for being a client too.
No problem.
Really appreciate you being a client. Connect with us on Instagram. We always want to make sure we're connecting with you guys. And if we can help you more, just chat us. We're more than happy to jump on calls and stuff like that to help you.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. See ya.
Debbie. Take care.